G'day all and welcome back to the Freo Faithful YouTube channel. Today we are here for the preview for our round 1 clash at the Cattery between Geelong and Fremantle. I mean, how keen are we for footy to get underway? We had opening round last week. I'm a believer that is not real football. Round 1's where it starts. Richmond Carlton's where the real season starts. And where the real season starts is on Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, wherever you are, for Geelong versus Fremantle at GMHBA. Quite a tough start, isn't it? Quite a tough start. I would wish it upon my worst enemy in West Coast, but I wouldn't wish it upon many teams. Geelong away is a very, very rough start to the season, especially in a season where Geelong are a very good chance of potentially being maybe the best team in the comp. So, yeah, very, very scared for this one. We have got a lot of injury doubts going into it. And there is a lot of team news to get through. We haven't had a team picked yet this year. The only team we've really seen are the intra-clubs and that pre-season game against Melbourne. The Indigenous All-Stars game, a bit of an anomaly. That was like a 30-man squad. So, yeah, very interesting to see what we'll go with, especially with the injury clouds. First of all, Hayden Young, completely out. He won't play this game. Earliest we're expecting to see him back is round 4. That's the aim date. Maybe a round 3 return if we're lucky for the Derby. But no, I think round 4 will be when Hayden gets back. Nat Fyfe has got no football in him. His fitness is building quite quickly, is what we've been told. But yeah, doesn't have any footy in him. Not a lot of match fitness. So he will probably need a few weeks at Peel before he's even considered for selection if he gets in the team. A bit of positive news for Michael Walters, Alex Pearce, and Josh Draper, particularly Alex Pearce, who sat out the 2 pre-season games. He has been listed as a test, but got through main training today. He's expected to play, and Josh Draper's in the same boat. Listed as a test, got through main training, and probably will play. Michael Walters played our pre-season game against Melbourne, played fantastically, also played quite well for the Indigenous All-Stars against us, and he's had a really good pre-season overall. He showed form in the intra-clubs, so he will definitely come under consideration for selection. He put up with a bit of leg soreness in the Melbourne game, or after the Melbourne game, and he's gotten through, so he will be in Jail's thoughts for selection. Bit of a concern, especially if Michael Walters can't get up, for Sam Swikowski. He came from the field in main training today, nursing a sore hip / lower back from a collision, which isn't ideal whatsoever. As I said, especially if Walters doesn't play, but also if Shea Bolton doesn't play it, because Shea Bolton was in the same boat as a Walters, a Pearce, and a Draper, where he just had to get through main training to really play. He came up with a bit of a, not a stress fracture, but a few stress signs in the lower leg. And apparently, what I've been told is he went off during training today. So not good signs for Shea. That also could mean they just sang enough and want to keep his body in bubble wrap until Saturday. So maybe that's what it is. But I don't know, I'm a bit 50-50. If he went off, he didn't go off early, but he went off before the rest of the players. So hopefully that was just a fitness test and he'll be all good. We fly out tomorrow morning, so if we get some images at the airport, we will see who is flying out to Geelong. But hopefully, I don't really want to have to wait till round 2 to see Shea Bolton play his first game for us. But yeah, he is under a bit of a cloud. Now taking a look at team news. In main training, Patrick Voss trained in the A team today. I've been of the, not opinion, but more of the thought that Liam Reedy's probably going to get picked round 1. But I have been of the opinion that I think round 1's the perfect game for Luke Jackson to solo ruck. Loved what I saw from Vossi in the pracky against Melbourne. And I think with Sam De Koning most likely starting in the ruck for Geelong, he's not as much of a big, dominant brute force where we'd probably need Liam Reedy for a bit of a presence. I think Luke Jackson gives us a brilliant attack out of the middle against a ruck like Sam De Koning, a very athletic ruck. In fact, his brother Tom De Koning's a lot like Luke Jackson in the ruck, a bit of a taller version, and Sam De Koning rucks a bit like that as well. Yeah, he's not a ruck, but if they choose to go with Sam De Koning in the solo ruck setup, I think Jackson is the man out of the middle. I just think we're wasting a spot on the field if we put Liam Reedy just there as a brute force. Which probably means Patrick Voss comes into the team. Maybe JL was thinking the same thing, because if Patrick Voss did train in the A team today, that would probably mean Liam Reedy's not in the team. So yeah, maybe that means something, maybe it doesn't. I'm going to assume it does mean something, considering the team gets picked tomorrow. JL in the presser today said that Murphy Reid is in the mix, and it helps because we've got no Hayden Young, and we need someone to fill that void in the midfield. Nathan O'Driscoll did quite a good job. I mean, he had a great game against Melbourne, but whenever he got ran through the midfield, he did quite a good job. He did most of his work on the wing still, but just having those numbers through there, having that sort of dynamic running through there, of Nathan O'Driscoll. He's quite similar to Young. He's a left footer, big body. He's speedy, probably speedier than Young. So that's a really nice dynamic to have through there. In the Melbourne game, we had a bigger squad, so we had more numbers to roll through there. But Murphy Reid is going to be one of them who's vying for that best 22 or best 23 spot. I'm going to assume if Murphy Reid plays, he won't be as the sub. Because Matty Johnson's also another option through there. But I think Murphy Reid is so different to what we have. And he's also got the ability not only to play mid in the void of Young, but if Shea or Sonny can't get up, I think Sonny will get up. But if Shea can't get up, I think Murphy's a very, very big chance of playing. Where I think the sub will either be Murphy or Sonny if Shea doesn't play. So or maybe both of them play. Maybe Sonny takes Shea's spot on field and Murphy comes in as the forward rotation. It leaves Sam Sturt and Bailey Banfield in a weird position as well. Like, I thought one of them would be locked into play. Neither of them got on the field against Melbourne. So, really interesting what we're going to do with the forward rotation. Maybe Murphy Reid will play a bigger chunk forward, but that's just something we'll have to see on Saturday. I think a few keys into winning this game against Geelong. Taking Jeremy Cameron out of this game is massive. Jeremy Cameron's pushing his mid-30s, but he is still such a brute force, such an incredible player down in the forward line. And he is our main threat. He is their main focal point. He is our main threat, or their main threat for us. And we need to take him out of the game because his deputies on the field that will most likely play will be Shannon Neal and Ollie Henry. I don't not rate them, but they're nowhere near the caliber of Jeremy Cameron. So assuming Alex Pearce takes the role of Cameron, if he plays, you'd probably need either a Cox or a Draper to really have a good game on a Neal or a Henry. Probably Luke Ryan takes Ollie Henry. But then you'd have a Brennan Cox on a Shannon Neal. And I really think he needs to... I think we can deal with those guys. I think Cox and Ryan are both better players in their respective positions than Neal and Henry. So if Pearce has a good game and takes Cameron out, I think that is the key to limiting Geelong to a low score, which is going to be hard at GMHBA, but I think it's a very doable task, especially with this 37-degree heat. I can't remember the last time there was an AFL game on record being this hot. And it works in our favour. We have been training in a horrific not a horrific Perth summer, but the temperatures have gotten so high. I've gone down to Coburn a few times this summer to watch the boys train, and it is a struggle standing there, let alone getting out there. And our head of performance has been making them work hard for it as well. The amount of extra laps, extra running they've been doing after training sessions has been ridiculous. So yeah, I definitely think we'll be well conditioned for it. Probably more so conditioned than Geelong. But yeah, we can't win the game based off the weather. Another key to winning the game, I reckon our key forwards outclass their key backs. I'm not sure who's going to go to Josh Tracy. Purely because of size, I'm probably thinking Zach Guthrie. It will be him or Tom Stewart. I'm thinking because of size, Zach Guthrie can maybe go on Josh Tracy, but I think Josh Tracy's just a better player than Zach Guthrie. Tom Stewart's going to be undersized on Amos as well. Amos has put on so much size, and Tom Stewart's a fantastic defender, so we can't, discount him because his footy smarts are so good. He can probably get around an Amos if he decides to play on him, which I think will happen. But yeah, I definitely think our key forwards outclass their key backs just in their setup. I just think they're a bit undersized to deal with Tracy and Amos, who, as I said, Amos has put on so much size and Tracy's an absolute force. In the midfield is something a lot of people have been talking about because it's definitely an area we can get on top. We need to get the mix right, though. As I was talking about earlier with Murphy Reid being able to roll through there. Strong and Brayshaw are going to be the main two in there. I'm not sure if Jackson's going to play full-time ruck. It looks like he might, considering Vossi trained in the A-team today. So, that being said, if Reedy does play, Jackson might play a rover role in some passages. You don't know. Jackson will probably play in the main ruck role. Strong and Brayshaw are the two main guys through there. We then just have to get the mix right. Whether that is Nathan O'Driscoll, whether that is Murphy Reid, whether that is Jagger O'Meara or Matt Johnson, I think the in-game coaching and the in-game leadership of a Sarong or Brayshaw is crucial into getting on top in there, considering they've got their shiny new toy, Bailey Smith, to unveil at GMHBA as well. And talking of a guy like Bailey Smith, and talking of guys like Sarong and Brayshaw, who their leadership, it will be tested this game. It's round one and their leadership's already going to be tested. They're vice captains, they need to show it on the field. They speak well off it, they now need to show it. Because I look back to the Essendon game last year, and I was really disappointed with some of the on-field leadership shown in that last quarter in terms of our defensive midfield setup, the lack of voice to get the guys in the right position. In that last passage when we just let them burst out of the middle, who wasn't, Sam Durham or something, to kick the winning point. There was no voice, there was no leadership, there was no hunger in that final passage. Which, look, they're still young, so it's probably something you can get away with at this stage. But now we're ready. You can't get away with it. Like, these guys need to step up because our defensive midfield setup tomorrow is so important. Yeah, I'm not sure if Max Holmes is going to be playing off halfback or in the midfield. I'm sure Holmes will get a bit of midfield time. But him, who is such a hard runner on the outside, as well as Bailey Smith, they'll have some in and under guys to get the ball out to them. They won't have anyone as good as Sarong or Brayshaw in and under. Like, if Dangerfield goes through there, yes, we know what Paddy Dangerfield's done, but he's pushing the twilight of his career. Sarong and Brayshaw should be the guys to get in and under and get the ball out for our boys. We will get on top in that area. However, when Geelong do get it out, Bailey Smith and Max Holmes are unbelievable runners. Our defensive midfield setup has to be crucial tomorrow. That also falls on JL and the coaching staff and the midfield coach on who we put in that defensive midfield position, because Hayden Young was very, very good at doing that role last year, playing late in 2023 as well, but in 2024 he was very good at that defensive midfield role. Yes, we know Youngie for his burst out of the midfield, but having that defensive midfielder was so crucial last year, and I think we really need to get on top of that, because Smith and Holmes I can see absolutely killing us out of the middle if we're naive to that problem. The final threat for the Cats are the small, high half forwards they've got. Paddy Dangerfield probably falls into that category. He's a bit bigger, but he'll play as a high half forward for a game that pushes up to the stoppages. And their main guy, Brian Myers, is an absolute nightmare to deal with. I hate playing against Brian Myers. He's such a gun, so silky. His field kicking is ridiculous. He can ping him from 50 with that short leg. Yeah, unbelievable. Tyson Stengel will probably play, or will play, and he's also a massive threat. So you've got to look at guys like Brandon Walker, Heath Chapman, and Jordan Clark, who will get those small guys and will have to do a massive job, because Luke Ryan, he won't be able to play smaller. He'll have to probably take a Ollie Henry. So Walker, Chapman, and Clark, eyes will be on them to deal with the Myers, the Stengels, those sorts of very big threats that Geelong pose to us on Saturday. Final tip, I'm going to go the Dockers by 5. I reckon we get off to a good start. I think our players definitely outlist them. I think when I look at this game on paper, I like our midfield more than theirs. It's just the smarts and the defensive midfield setup. I like our key forwards more than I like their key backs. I think their forward line is going to pose a threat, especially their small forward line. But I think if we can take Jeremy Cameron out of the game and then at least take one of Myers or Stengel out, I think, or limit them to one goal, I think that will hold us in really good stead. The 40-degree heat will hopefully play into our favour as well. We've trained in that so much throughout this off-season. So, yeah, I've got a bit of confidence. Not like a confidence, excitement, but I'm also really scared. Like, anything could happen here. It's such an exciting, giddy part of the season. Round 1, first game of the season. We've got expectation internally and externally, but we still don't really know what's going to happen. This is definitely our toughest game in like our first 8. So if we lose, it's not panic stations, but getting off to a good start would set us up so well for the next 7 or so weeks and would really put us in a good position to start off with a really good record. That's my preview. Leave your tips down in the comments. Leave all your thoughts on the game down in the comments. We'll be live for the teams tomorrow night from about 3:30, 3:40 WA time. We'll be going through the team selection as we will be doing every Thursday, every Wednesday, depending on when we play throughout the season. So make sure you join for that. Also, I'll be live on my channel, UCAT, for the Geelong Freo Watch Along on Saturday. And straight after that, on Freo Faithful, please come and join and have a yarn post-game for the fan cams. It'll be so good to get so many of you in here to talk about the game, as many of you as we can. Yeah, I'll be hosting it. Drew's will be hosting the Perth games. And yeah, I'll hopefully be on for a couple hours, depending on how many people jump on. Very keen to chat some Freo, hopefully after a win on Saturday. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. Cheers.